Podcasts are hot right now. How do I know? Well, you're listening to one right now, aren't you? But you might be wondering, how on earth do I get my voice out there and start my own podcast? It all seems so intimidating. Between hosting and platforms and monetization, it can get real complicated real quick. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We started this podcast over 2 years ago, not knowing clue one on how to do it. So how did we do it? We did it with Anchor. Anchor is the free podcast app with creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on all the platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And everybody likes money, right? Well, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So go right now, download the free Anchor app, or go to Anchor FM to get started. It's the eCommerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your host, John Suder, Bart, Mroz, and Brittany Blackman. The eCommerce Minute is a production of SUMO Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm located in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's eCommerce Minute episode 716.
In today's episode, Trader Joe's won't pivot to curbside delivery.
One of the earliest examples of the new normal is, of course, curbside grocery delivery. Stemming off the pre-existing BOPUS format, popular grocery deliveries like the almighty Walmart have experienced success with this format. But there's a certain beloved grocery chain that won't be going curbside. Trader Joe's doesn't plan to offer grocery pickup and delivery despite soaring demand for online grocery services amid the pandemic. In the April 20th episode of the Trader Joe's podcast, Marketing Director Tara Miller and VP of Marketing Matt Sloan discussed why the company has no plans to institute these services, despite Miller saying that many customers have asked for them. Sloan said, quote, creating an online shopping system for curbside pickup or the infrastructure for delivery, it's a massive undertaking. It's something that takes months or years to plan, build, and implement, and it requires tremendous resources. At Trader Joe's, the reality is that over the last couple of decades, we've invested these resources in our people rather than build an infrastructure that eliminates the need for people, end quote. Unlike other stores, Trader Joe's has never offered the services, stating in the facts section of their website that they're still just big old fans of the neighborhood grocery store where we can say hello when you're looking around. Miller opined that when social distancing ends, Trader Joe's will be stronger for having invested in employees, calling its crew our most valued resource. The company also stressed that while other retailers were cutting staff and adding things like self-checkout, curbside pickup, and outsourcing delivery options before coronavirus, they were hiring more crew and continue to do just that. There's a couple things to note here. Many, not all, the Trader Joe's locations are in really weird spots that would make that actual function difficult. But that being said, Bart, tell me why these guys can't do this. Is there something that we're not seeing here? Is this just like, is it a culture thing truly, or is it they just don't want to spend the money, or I don't get it.
I mean, I guess curbside pay is a little hard. I mean, their stores are not huge either.
Correct. The ones that I visit are just a nightmare to get in and out of, so I will give them that. But I just don't understand as a broad stroke that they're just saying, nope.
I mean, they have to have some weird reason for it. I mean, is it easier for them to have people come in, with that? I don't know. It's funny. Does it make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a funny story. That's why I figured we would discuss this.
I don't know. No, it's a weird, why? Maybe it's just how many people they have. They don't want them going back and forth in and out. I don't know. I'm actually not sure about the answer, sir.
I don't know.
Their whole thing that they keep reiterating is we invest in our employees. And I'm like, what the heck? What does that?
I just wonder if
what does that mean?
I mean, what's the two in the city? I can see why. The one on 22nd is absolutely a nightmare.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say that.
I would never even go to that one.
I was going to say that.
We're talking about Center City, Philadelphia. There's a Trader Joe's. It's in a very congested area.
Well, there's one by the convention center now, which is better. But yeah, the one on 22nd is absolutely a nightmare.
Yeah. And the ones I live up in the suburbs, the ones I have up here are just logistically hard to get in and out of, even on a normal day. But that being said, there are ways to make this happen, and their competition is running circles around them. And I think they're leaving a lot of money on the table. The argument is, it takes a lot of effort to set it up.
Yeah, I mean, you still need shoppers. It's.
Are we being greedy capitalists here and kind of not reading between the lines and maybe looking at it on its face?
Something we're missing somewhere, but I'm not sure what.
Well, all three of us are scratching our heads and thinking there's something fishy about it. But the guy actually said we want it just to be the local grocery store, even though their clientele is clamoring for it. If you look online and Brittany, you included in the show notes here, a sample, just a smidge of the treats here. Does Trader Joe's realize they could make bank on Postmates or Instacart, or even started their own delivery service? How is grocery delivery from Trader Joe's not a thing yet? Trader Joe's in particular needs to get with it. They don't have any pickup or delivery options, so I had to switch to Fred Meyer, who does deliver. I mean, it's right there.
They could call it like Delivery Joe's. I don't know.
Or maybe they got caught flat-footed and decided, you know what, by the time we ramp it up, this isn't even going to be a thing anymore. I don't know.
And I guess that's why they're honing in so much on the fact that they invest in their employees, because they're making it a point to say we invest in our employees, not contingency plans and delivery services.
Right. Okay. So you also had some notes here. Some of the employees push back, like all of the other chains that are suffering. The complaints were they weren't protecting their employees properly. They were trying to unionize. Do you know any more about that, Brittany?
I didn't dive deep into it. I just kind of saw that they weren't installing the glass
partitions.
Oh my God, what are those things called? On the cash registers and stuff like that. And people were irritated, and nobody follows social distancing laws in there anyway, because the spaces are usually
they're so small,
cramped and tight, and there's like 800 cash registers, so just kind of those things.
All right. Interesting story about Trader Joe's. We'll see if they change their tune if this continues on, because it seems like that's something that consumers want, and we're all scratching our heads why they don't have it, but maybe it is what it is. They just want to be that friendly neighborhood grocery store. All right. We'll close this one with a little stat time. A quarter of Pennsylvania's essential workers make less than $30,000 annually, and 2/3 make less than the state's household median income of $60,000, raising questions about whether the people keeping the rest of society afloat are being sufficiently protected and compensated. That's from the Philadelphia Inquirer. There are more than 120,000 grocery store workers in Pennsylvania, the data shows, and average annual wages for the sector are about $23,000. Gas stations, assisted living centers, and building maintenance firms are among the other essential businesses employing large numbers of low-wage workers across the state. Boy, we butchered that. According to the Philadelphia Inquirer. Some depressing stats there. You guys got anything else?
Pay your essential employees better. Places.
Yeah. Oh, I'll just throw a little T across this one here. I read an article this morning about Kroger.
I am just looking at it.
Oh, no.
Kroger accidentally sent some of their workers extra money and sent them a letter that says, "We need your money back. You can pay us back in installments, or we're going to come after you."
No.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my! That is apocalyptic.
See, now what's happening is all of these. We're going to give you hero pay. We're going to give you battle pay, and now it's like, okay, we're ending battle pay, but you still got to come to work, and if you don't, LOL, sadness.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
God, canceled. All right, guys, got anything else? Nope.
All right, that is your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe, or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion, or just want to say hi, find us on social media @SUMO Heavy.